Chronicles, and we need a name. Like, we're not Swifties. We need a name, like a collective, unifying identity, right? Because we know what we're all about as a group, right? Don't you feel like you know what we're all about when you're like, okay, I'm gonna go this channel, Nine War Chronicles, and we're trying to figure out like what is he gonna be talking about, right? Like, we know each other. You guys know what I'm gonna be talking about. I know why you guys are here, right? Like, we're here because we enjoy talking about mythology, not for any other reason. Like, we like mythology and storytelling and stuff like that. Like, we know who we are. Like, that's the thing about this particular niche is like we 100% niche. We know who we are. We're a loyal audience. Like, we watch shows for like 30 years, right? Like, we get into stuff. We read all the books in a series, right? Like, we critique it from that standpoint. And we know who we are, right? And we love knowing who we are. So when I sit down and I'm like, I'm doing some stuff for us, like, I kind of get it, man. Like, as an audience, man, I just try to think about the stuff that I think is cool and present that to you guys in a way that is like clear and concise and like genuinely heartfelt on my side of it, right? So man, I could not do that. I could not allow myself to not talk about some of the great relics in mythology, right? Like, to be really honest, what got me into mythology were like the great relics, the stories about the great relics, like the Book of Thoth, right? Like the Emerald Tablets. Like, you guys heard the story about the Emerald Tablets, and I may do a breakdown on that later now that I'm thinking about it. But like, talking about the relics, like if you talk about the mythologies and you talk about the deities and you don't talk about the relics, like you're missing out on it. Like, these relics, especially from these ancient worlds, man, these guys got all kinds of stuff, man. Like, these weapons, these relics, these implements, um they have sometimes intelligence. They represent fear. They represent planning, as each one of these divine weapons that we see here. So this is what I've lined up for you is like a triad, again, as it were, right? A triad of absolutely divine weapons, right? The shoot raw of, I believe that is I think that's Mesopotamian, Sumerian. That's Sumerian, right? The Vajra right in the middle, which is the lightning, which I believe that is Buddhist in origin. I believe that is. And over this shoulder here is Aegis, the Aegis shield, which is Greek, right? So three vastly different cultures who produce a lot of different weapons. Like, everybody produced their power weapons, and these guys were no different. But the weapons said a lot about the deity they were connected to, the culture they were connected to, as well as like what they could actually do. Like, these things were made for busting somebody upside the head in a divine way, right? Like, this is divine, going upside your noodle with a mace. That's all it is. They were all still like, they carried all type of like work, and you can see they're always more complex because they have ruins, or in this case, like other cultural markings that kind of are part of their power. And then there's always these fascinating stories about who made these things, because there's not a whole lot of like renowned weapons builders in the like divinity world. We kind of know most of them, like we know like really like Ogun has made a bunch of weapons, right? Of course, Hephaestus or Vulcan has made a ton of weapons, but they don't get the shine. I know that the dwarves, there's the dwarves, Itri, and regular forgettable other dwarf that I can't remember his name in Norse mythology. So yeah, so we kind of, and they made a bunch of stuff. They made a bunch of stuff. They were ultimate craftsmen, and it's usually like some kind of dwarf or something like that. But whatever, we got all these weapons here, and we know that these weapons, man, these are weapons that just like build empires, right? Entire civilizations are built on the efforts of these particular weapons right here, right? So across cultures, like weapons and relics, they're as important as the deities, and they don't get to shine because a lot of them are like, I don't need the deity to be powerful, right? Like, if you're Mjolnir, right? You're like, I don't need Thor. I'm powerful with Thor, but I personally don't need Thor to go about being exactly the same thing that I am. Same thing with Excalibur. You just happen to pick that weapon up, right? So these divine weapons, man, they have their own temperament, and the individual qualities that make these relics like the world shapers that they are. And this is just absolutely the fun part, right? I don't know if you guys are like me and you would envision these like deities fighting in the sky. I don't know how it's in the sky. I guess they would be fighting in the ground just as likely. But they'd have these divine weapons, and not just a versus battle, but like what was the whole myth of what that weapon is? Where does it come from? How does it work on the inside? Where did you get it at? What's the warranty situation on this thing? Right? Does it take another battery? Is it going to go like that forever? Does it come back to you? Is there a security code? All the things that you need when you're getting a divine weapon. You're like, I'm going to get a divine weapon, and best believe it's going to be divine. Like, this is going to be a bad boy of all bad boys because this is the one I got to roll with, man. This is going to set the agenda from which the agenda is built. Like, based on what I can do with this weapon, that's going to determine what I'm getting ready to do to you. And that's kind of how it rolls. Like, sometimes it's true. So we're gonna get right into these, right? I just wanted to kind of give it that intro, but let's look at them first, right? And obviously, where are we at here? Okay. Oh no, that's not what I want there. Okay, hang on. Let me get you guys the right image here. Who did we have first? Let's see. Oh yeah. This is gonna be a good one here. This is a good one here. Okay. This is a divine weapon here. Sharur. Okay. Let me get you clipped up right so that I can still be the main star of all this, right? Okay. Okay. So let's talk about this divine weapon here, Sharur. And this is a weapon that comes with, I believe now, yeah, this is from ancient Sumerian culture. So this is an old school, excuse me. This is a seasoned weapon. This weapon's been out here for a little while. This is a major weapon in terms of like the Sumerian culture, how it developed, like a big part of the mythology. And here's the thing. This is what is special about this particular weapon, right? It's a sentient mace. This isn't just a dumb bust you in the head weapon, although I think you can bust someone in the head with it. But this is a divine weapon. It is a divine force, and in the myth, it speaks. It gives strategy, and it even scouts ahead. So this isn't just a literally blunt weapon, right? This is weaponized intelligence. That's what it is. And this is foundational to how Ninurta operates, right? It represents strategy before violence. Communication itself becomes power. Information is key to warfare with this mythology. This is all the stuff it's in vain. This, despite being a mace, this mace is mind over muscle. So this is the first of the true power weapons that we see, and for all its construction, it was still about divine calculation, about taking in all the information, being able to communicate it, and that allowed them to leverage everything. This is cognitive superiority, right? So if Sharur exists in your universe, it doesn't just hit, it actually analyzes. It predicts what is likely to happen, and it whispers the outcomes to the wielder. So this is the weapon that thinks. Now that's important. All that stuff is massively important stuff because who else has had a weapon that's contributing to strategy as well? Like I'm doing some math work out here for you. That's what Sharur is actually doing. Now I don't know what this is made of. It doesn't. Nothing in the mythology tells us what this is made of. So I'm not going to say this is like made out of adamantium or made out of vibranium. I don't know any of that stuff. Now we know that it is in the text said to be, or is implied that it is a meteoric metal because it's described as like heaven sent iron. Is kind of what they would lean towards, and probably sacred stone. Now again, these are Bronze Age people, right? So for them, bronze and iron at this stage, those are divine metals. This is literally changing the world. So this is a early Bronze Age culture. They're like 3000 to 2000 BCE. So they would have imagined this as a bronze mace head. It would have be mounted on a heavy shaft like we see here, and it would be inscribed with divine markings, right? So it's not just forged, and this is really the importance of what they were saying about it, and what they were putting into it even says it just a ton about the culture itself, right? Like we're getting like what they're saying by what they infuse into it. It's not just for busting you upside the head. It is ensouled. It is given an intelligence, like a high intelligence. And in some version, it speaks independently and acts almost like a messenger and implies it's not just metal, it is animated by a divine intelligence. So symbolically, this is metal plus word and divine authority, like a sacred metal. So that's what we get when we talk about this. And there is some mythology where Ninurta goes up against this demon, Asag, who that's a funny name, and he's so powerful that he literally just dries up rivers, and just like he's just extremely destructive. So Ninurta prepares to go and fight him, and Sharur speaks, and he scouts ahead. He gives him a strategy. He reassures the deity when he hesitates. And this is important. This hesitation part is important because it's not about blind rage. He functions in the sense of um, like a tactical intelligence. He's tactical about how he wants to move forward, especially like in this. He's very battlefield cognizant. He understands. He wants to suck in the landscape, like the time of day, all this stuff. This is where you're seeing these people at least expressing warfare at this extremely high level, right? Like this is what it is. This is how serious they're taking information because it becomes a divine advantage. So Ninurta ultimately slays him, and the demon's stone body becomes this mountain range. So this is like, man, this is incredibly detailed in how he moves about because this is not just a weapon of destruction. It helps convert chaos into literal geography. They manifested chaos. So this is a form of like cosmic engineering is what we get from this weapon or this manifestation. And it is said that sometimes there are fragments of it that travels between the gods, like there are various stories that it has been with different gods. It acts itself as a diplomat. It is trusted, right? It is articulate. It carries authority equal to Ninurta. So it has operated completely independent. So not only, and it's still a weapon, it's still good at busting people in the head. It never loses that. So it operates as a weapon, as a scout, as a visor, as an advisor, and as a diplomatic envoy. So this is four roles that this one. I mean, talk about a Swiss Army knife, right? Like not literally, but figuratively, like a Swiss Army knife of everything that you want out of a divine. Like it's an assistant. It can fight for its assistant, bodyguard, manager, right, and PR person, right, and strategist all in one. So it's not lost that it is a mace, which is still a crushing weapon. And this is a way of crushing disorder. Like symbolically, it is smashing rebellion. It is breaks resistance. This is what Mesopotamian warfare what was like, and it was associated with this kingship and authority. So it's not just military force. I think that's kind of the important thing. This is not just military force. This is royal force. This is a weapon of someone who governs all this, right? Like that's where this weapon is. I mean, and that's deep. Like that's a really, really powerful statement for the weapon. Like, just visually, like I said, like this weapon that looks this way, this glowing, Bronze Age weapon, like divine spells just wrap all around that bitch, right? Just like a powerhouse weapon that is also sage wisdom. You cannot ask for anything else, right? It's like you can fight with your iPhone. I can give you all the answers and all the sports scores, and I'm an offensive weapon, a defensive weapon, right? The things we have now, you drop that thing and it breaks. Not this. So this is all kind of advantages to this kind of weapon, and this is where it gets really deep because it is a relic of thought, is what it is. It's not abstract thought. This is strategic thought. So this thing predicts in terms of outcomes. We're talking like it is about logistics. It understands power structures, terrain. It factors in like fear and psychology. So just all around, just an amazing implement. And this is what the mythology really tells us about, like how it was wielded. And again, just a powerful weapon, right? Okay. So let me go on to the next one here. I think you guys are going to enjoy this one too. All right, if I can get my get this to act right. Nope, you're not gonna act right. Are you gonna act right? Neither. Okay, there we go. There we go, right? This is, I mean, wow. Let's just suck up the visuals of this, right? Let's just suck up the visuals of this weapon here. This divine weapon. And this is the Vajra. If I'm saying it right, this is the Vajra. And this is like, man, I want to say this is Buddhist, right? It's Hindu Buddhism on full display. This is a very powerful implement. And the way that they write the mythology of it, man, it's just utterly insane. Like, this is the weapon of law. This is forged in sacrifice. This is divine authority in this belief system at its highest level. So this is what we would associate with Vedic myth. And this is the weapon that is wielded by Indra. It's a thunderbolt weapon that was later adopted as to mean like the diamond thunderbolt. So these are the aspects that it ultimately takes on. And this is highly revered. Inside this belief system, man, like this is one of the most revered like symbols because it's their highest deity. I mean, this is like, you know, the head of the pantheon. This, you know, again, the thunder or lightning typically is at the top of the pantheon. And this is the same thing. So this weapon, this really represents like their cosmic order. And it's associated with diamond because this is unbreakable truth is what these lightning bolts from here ultimately represent. So this is divine enforcement, right? This is law as lightning. This is authority that is made tangible, and it is power to end the chaos. That's what they put within this weapon. All this is no negotiation. No negotiation. This is correction. So among the weapons that we've looked at, this is the weapon most associated with law. Again, this is the power of Indra. The Vedic text. Now, this is an interesting one, right? And you always got to ask, like, what's in it? Like, what's it made of? Sometimes what it's made of, it's not even, you know, it's like, it's probably bronze or iron, whatever the age was. That makes the most sense for the mythology of the people, okay? But when you ask when I came to this and I'm like, what is this thing made of? There's a whole mythology behind what this is made of, because this is actually forged from the bones of the sage who is Dad Hichi. Dad Hichi's bones. Now, the gods were losing to this serpent demon, Vajra, okay? And he had controls of the waters of the world, and the gods themselves were getting a little bit tight. It was getting a little tight, man. This was like coming up for the fourth quarter. Like, we're down right now. We need several stops and scores all string together, right? We need all this stuff. So they asked Dahichi to sacrifice himself. And he does it. He gives up his body, and his bones are used to forge this weapon here. And with that, Indra is able to kill Vajra and release the waters. So this was a pivotal moment in the mythology, and the creation of it is a whole nother set of circumstances, right? The creation of this weapon is a whole nother like set of questions that I now have, right? But a great mythology story. And this weapon has tied now, cosmic order is now tied to voluntary sacrifice, right? It's tied to it, spiritual purity and a human sage's bones, like his essence. So it's not just a metal. This is literally righteousness weaponized. That's what it's made out of. It's made out of the righteous bones of a righteous dude who is volunteering himself to protect everybody else. You can't even get more right. You can't pack any more righteous into that. And this is the weapon extension of that. This is it for it. So this is all about like, nope, nothing is an obstruction. This is all like because Vitra is all the bad stuff. Vitra is about obstructing flow, about hoarding life-giving waters. It's about chaos blocking flow, right? Indra strikes back at with this weapon, and it's all done. The rivers flow, life returns, right? So it is not just a thunderbolt. It's also seen as a breaker of stagnation, socially, right? Culturally, politically. It restores cosmic circulation. So now you have law, which is the restoration of flow. And it gets way deeper. So it's far more than just like, oh, not nice lightning bolt. What are you gonna do it? It's so much more than that it resonates truly on a cosmic scale. And it also looks really cool, right? Like this is one of the coolest weapons I've seen. And clearly for me, just even sitting in front of it makes me feel better. It has also developed, like it's known for its look, like that specific look, the prongs. It's known for representing unbreakable truth, right? These are the tenets: the unbreakable truth, the diamond mind, indestructible reality. So it's not just it's certainty. It is existential certainty is what you draw from this weapon, which is why it is diamond, right? The thunderbolt part of it is destructive side. The diamond side is it as an indestructible substance itself. And that's what you want when you're symbolizing like power and structure. These are not temporary laws. These are not political laws. These are cosmic laws that are written. And it transmitted easily into Buddhism as well. And it becomes a symbol of the enlightened mind, method, skilled meaning, and compassion fused with wisdom. So this is what. So it's not. So it's far more than just a weapon. It is method and compassion. It encompasses wisdom. So they represent all these things together. But philosophically, this is a weapon like it is the strategic intelligence. It is the enforcement of this structure. So it does not calculate. It corrects. It ends arguments. It's the moment when debate ends, right? Like you're having a good debate, and then he shows up with that, and the debate's going to be over because it's going to correct the entire situation. Law is not discussed in these terms because laws are universal. That law is struck, and this is why the image of it is so it's so powerful, right? Like it's a powerful one, man. I really have to say that. Among all these weapons, I think probably the most famous out of these, right? And definitely one that if I had my choice, man. But I feel like I would have to do righteous things with it. And I don't know that I want to do that. I don't know that I want to have a cosmic weapon and do righteous things with it. Maybe for the sake of all of us, I do. But more than likely, that's probably not what's going to happen. And I can be honest with all you guys. I can be honest enough with you to let you know that, yeah, I don't know. Could be. I could do the right things with it, or I could, be a jackass about it. Okay. All right. So this is the last one here. And this is like, you guys are probably going to recognize this one more than any of the others because you see Medusa's face right up in that bad boy. Like she is carved up in there. And that's for a reason. This is, of course, the Aegis, and this is a weapon, a shield that has been used by both Zeus and Athena. So it's no joke. Most of the time it's associated with Athena. I've seen several sculpture attached to Athena and how she's wielded that. And so you can see, man, with the Athena skill set, man, this is a devastating duel because this weapon itself, this is psychological terror. That's what it represents. That's why they use Medusa's face, because it's psychological effect at the highest. In some myths, it actually produces storms, and this can cause the presence of this can make whole armies flee. Like armies will flee at the sight of this shield. So this is psychological warfare. Way back in the Greek days, they're writing about psychological warfare at scale, enough to break an entire army, right? So this weapon, it doesn't strike. This is what makes men drop their weapons. So they will drop their weapons before we even have to fight, which kind of is a beautiful concept, right? How many lives are saved by that? But that's what it is. This is a control weapon. This is a weapon that says, resistance is futile. I'm going to infuse you guys with just raw fear, starting with this Medusa face. That's how we all felt about Medusa, right? Now, this is a weapon that is kind of like it's been cloaked in various ways. Athena carries it more prominently as a shield, but it's also been worked as a breastplate. And I think at sometimes it'll always have Medusa's imagery with it. Sometimes this is obviously a Bronze Age weapon, so that's how it is depicted. And the most important thing is that it is bearing Medusa's image. This is her moment here, right? This is when it becomes a device because apparently it covets the same uh, 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 skills, I guess we would say that Medusa had. Okay, as a petrification device, it is a battlefield psychological weapon. It is a symbol of unavoidable doom. That is very powerful right there. So it's not just a protective thing, it projects outwardly. Enemies don't just fail to penetrate, they freeze. It's power through intimidation. And you can see Athena made it tactical. Zeus used it as a storm device. And in the Iliad, Zeus shakes Aegis. Thunder roars, lightning cracks, armies panic. It's written in the Iliad, right? The Homer's tale. So you can talk about it, and it's a device that's said to radiate dread, chaos, psychological collapse. This is a very powerful implement that we actually don't talk a lot about. We see, while Zeus uses it to dominate, Athena uses it more strategically. She appears in battle wearing it, and the morale instantly shifts around her. So now it's the psychological warfare, it's strategic fear projection, and it's defensive superiority. She doesn't need to strike back because this is destabilizing the enemies. So very powerful implements in vastly different ways that aren't just like it's not in the power of what they do, it's the message. A lot of times, like providing insight, high level intelligence, being an implement that defines or corrects imbalance in the cosmos, and another weapon that serves as a device of psychological terror against your enemy. So three pretty insanely powerful implements. Again, if we don't talk about the relics, man, we don't really know why was these guys able to do this. It wasn't just them. It wasn't just them. Some of these like high IQ weapons need to get their run. So that's what I'm doing, just kind of giving them a little bit of their run. And I just want to take some time to talk about those. So thanks for stopping in. Again, any more questions? If I am here for your mythological queries, and we can have some fun and talk about some of these like great